So, are you thinking about moving to Chesapeake, Virginia? Are you kind of curious what some of the cost of living expenses are here compared to other areas in the US? Well, if so, that's great because today, that's what our video is all about. Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate in the 757. My name is Jennifer Stimson. I'm a local realtor here in Hampton Roads with RE/MAX Alliance. And today it's all about going over the cost of living here in Chesapeake, Virginia. If you've caught my channel already before, you know I do videos each and every week all about what it's like to live, love, and own here in Hampton Roads. And hey, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel and you're enjoying these videos, why don't you take a minute and hit that subscribe button. And if you hit that little bell as well, you'll be notified each and every week when I roll out a new video. All right, so bestplaces.net is a great resource for you if you want to compare where you live now to a city that you're potentially going to move to. You can go to bestplaces.net, punch in that city, and it will give you a list of statistics to kind of give you that overview. So you have a good gauge of, the cost of living of where you're moving. They use a score of 100. So if something scores above 100, then that's a little bit more expensive to live in that area. And hey, if it comes in under 100, bonus, because that means it's actually a little less expensive. All right, so they gave us a score here in Chesapeake of 106.4. And if you caught my video last week when I went over Virginia Beach's overall score was 105.6. So technically we're a little bit more expensive to live here in Chesapeake versus Virginia Beach. But you'll have to kind of think about where you're coming from and to have a good comparison there. So a little bit higher than the national average, but Hampton Roads has so much to offer, from Chesapeake and Virginia Beach and Norfolk to Hampton Roads, all of Hampton Roads. There's just so many great things about living in this area that I think make it worth it. I also think it's worth mentioning that when you look at Chesapeake as a whole, we're actually divided into several different smaller sections, right, that kind of coincide with the school districts. So if you've heard of Great Bridge, Hickory, Deep Creek, or even Western Branch, all of those areas make up Chesapeake. So just keep that in mind because as we kind of start to go through some of these things, especially with housing, what you can find in one area of Chesapeake may not be the same exact thing you're going to find in another part of Chesapeake. So just keep that in mind as you're continuing to do your research. All right, so we're going to start with housing because, that's really the most important, right? For you to know up front as you consider a new place to move. And Chesapeake does rank a little bit higher than the national average. They gave us a score of 116.9. And that is because our median home price is $270,000. And I would kind of have to be honest and say that 270 here in Chesapeake is not going to get you a whole lot. If you want a single family home, that's a little bit larger, 2,000 square feet and up, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, you're not going to find that here for 270. But you will find some great starter homes, ranch style, probably with 3 bedrooms, 1 or 2 baths, around 1,500 to 1,700 square feet. You can find some neighborhoods that do have homes in kind of that median range, but you may have to get creative or move a little further out into Deep Creek and Western Branch. Another great option would be to consider a condo or a townhome. Those are some great options, especially if it's your first place, your first home. And then you're not dealing with some yard because you probably have a small patio attached to the back. But you also need to remember you are going to have some condo fees tacked on with that in addition to your mortgage. And those condo fees can run anywhere from $200 to $300. So you just need to keep that in mind. I would say that if you want a slightly larger home, but closer to that median price point, you're probably looking into Deep Creek and Western Branch, but you're going to go above that 270, but you can find them in the low 300s to 330, mid 300s that get a little larger with 4 or 5 bedrooms when you're kind of searching out there. But keep in mind, if you are looking specifically in Great Bridge or Hickory, it's probably going to be that smaller ranch style home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, to keep you closer to that median price point of $270. And if newer is what you crave, then you probably going to go the route of a condo. And actually in Western Branch, there are several new developments going on out there. And hey, if you want to know some great neighborhoods, if you're able to stretch that budget beyond that median home price, then stick around, because at the end, I'm gonna add a video on to the end of this one where we discuss kind of our top 5 neighborhoods here in Chesapeake and all the price points that go along with them. All right, so now we've got to talk about rentals, because some of you are not at a place where you can buy. Some of you might be closer than you realize though. But for rent, the average rental here is going to cost you anywhere from between $1,100 to about $2,100 a month. And that all has to do with the size of the home, how many bedrooms and baths it has, and the total square footage. But I would really encourage you, if you have a dream of owning a home, you know you're going to be in this area longer than a few years, reach out, because I would love nothing more than to begin helping you reach that dream. And the rates right now are just incredibly, historically low, in fact. And I have a fabulous lender that I would love to share with you. She would love nothing more than to help you figure out kind of where your credit is and what you would need to do in order to be moving towards that goal of home ownership. There's nothing better than knowing that you are paying down your mortgage and not someone else's. And did you know that there are some special loan options just for first-time home buyers, where you could potentially not be putting that 20% down that is kind of the average for a homeowner, but for first-time home buyers, there are special loan programs where you could be putting 0% down, 3% down to get into that first home. So it truly may be closer and more within reach than you even realize. All right, so we got over the hurdle of the home costs here and being higher than average. Now let's talk about some other costs of living. And we're gonna start with utilities. Utilities, we actually fall below the national average with a score of 97.4. So hey, great news. For groceries, we scored a 100. So right smack dab in line with that average nationally. And I would say, you know, for our grocery stores, you can expect to find Kroger, Walmart, the Walmart neighborhood markets. We have several of those throughout Chesapeake. Food Lion, let's see, what else? Harris Teeter and Aldi. So those are kind of our typical grocery stores that you will find all throughout Chesapeake. For transportation, we scored a 101.2, so just slightly higher than that national average. I doubt you'll kind of see that as you head to the gas stations to fill up your car. All right, so a few other statistics to kind of know when you're thinking about moving here to Chesapeake is that our average family income here per household is actually higher than the national average. Unemployment rate is lower at 3% compared to the 3.7% national average. And future job growth is actually projected at 35.15%, whereas the national average is 33.51. And our crime percentages are both under the national average as well. So, you know, there's just all great statistics to know. So if you are considering a move here to Chesapeake, now you know kind of where we stand in comparison as far as cost of living expenses go. And if you are looking to move here, if you are seriously considering a move this way, once you reach out, you can give me a call, shoot me a text, or an email. I would love, love, love to connect with you and help you find a new place to call home. And if you have not already subscribed to our channel, please take a second to do so. And like I was saying, hey, if you are interested in some other neighborhoods, some of our favorites are coming up next.